We work to build this country, mister, while you enjoyed a life of ease.
Great to sit down with you, Cathy. Thanks so much for the time. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved.
I'm Cathy Johnson. I live in Farmington, Minnesota. Farmington is pretty much the center of Dakota County. The beautiful Vermilion River flows not too far from our property. The beauty of this site, the wonderful camaraderie of the neighbors, it's just been a wonderful place to live. The houses across the street from me will be backing up to a hyperscale data center. And it seems that data centers are flying into Minnesota at an alarming rate. So I am using those organizational and people skills that I developed through over about 40 years in a classroom to organize the coalition. We met in a park over on the west side of the site, exchanged email addresses. I took all those email addresses and invited people to meet in my backyard, and the coalition began.
All I want is democracy, mister.
So why are these big tech companies targeting Minnesota specifically?
We have a very generous tax abatement. That's a big attraction to these data centers. And of course, they threaten, if you don't give us a tax abatement, we'll go somewhere else. And then the race to the bottom begins. That's the type of Kool-Aid that developers are using to convince small-town governing units that this is a panacea. They come to small, tax-hungry communities, and they promise, we'll promise you permanent jobs and lots of property tax if only you'll sign a non-disclosure agreement so we can plan all of this in secret behind the public's knowledge and guarantee us the water for the project out of your domestic water supply. They're coming here because they can call the shots, and that is costing the state mightily.
For my baby.
What are some of the top reasons that people statewide should care about the data center development being proposed here?
Okay, there's a lot of reasons that you should care about Farmington, and the first is the fact that we are the furthest along of the developer-led projects, and our case will set precedent. It will set precedent for the egregious methods that these developers are using as they come into communities. Another reason to care is because Virgil Wins from the Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe did a beautiful article about a year and a half ago about why should we care about the water, and because it's not our water, it's our grandchildren's water.
All I want is democracy, mister.
I think a lot of people statewide think data centers are a Sunday issue, but that's not the case here. Right? We're looking at construction potentially very soon. So what are some of the potential consequences of the Minnesota legislature not taking action?
The thing I'm worried about is that a representative from Dakota Electric said, don't worry, we'll figure this out, we'll provide it. And there is apparently a law in Minnesota that if a business wants to come here, the utility company has to figure out how to accommodate them. In the case of this project next door, 708 megawatts is what they are asking for in their AUAR. Monticello produces something like 550. There isn't enough generation in the state of Minnesota to supply what's needed. When the data center company promises that they'll build any infrastructure that's needed as they grow, or that in addition to what the community already has, well, they darn well should, because they'll be paying for it out of our tax dollars that were abated in the first place. We are giving tax abatement to the wealthiest companies in human history. Our tax dollars like a blank check to Bezos, Zuckerberg. Where did that make sense? The numbers just don't add up. And I think Minnesota needs to take charge, establish a moratorium, and look holistically at what are the benefits and what are the costs and who's bearing the risk.
I don't want your diamond ring. All I want